What's going on, everybody? Welcome to DLD After Dark. Man, I got to say, it's so dope just to come in and I know we're starting a little late, but just to see all you guys just chilling, waiting for the show to start. I love it. Thank you so much. If this is your first time tuning in, first off, I don't believe you. Secondly, if you are going to maintain that position, because we know that YouTube doesn't share my content, then welcome. And for all you folks out there that are just lurking and are not going to comment at all tonight, welcome to you as well. But I have a feeling that if you choose to hang around and hang out, chill with all these fine people over here in the chat, that you may like the place and you may want to stick around and may even subscribe and like and all that stuff. So thank you. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Also, to those that are going to be seeing this the next day and the next day and the next day, do me a favor, comment all the stuff that you do, replay mafia, recapitulation, syndication, all the recap, whatever, all the stuff that you guys do. Appreciate that. Refried beans. There's a whole bunch of funny ones. Reheating the leftovers. Appreciate you all so much. And Razor JB, Spin 360, all you guys that are night custom builds as well. You guys that are just religiously coming back and watching. I appreciate y'all so much. And let's do what we always do and greet all of our channel members first. Welcome everybody, and we'll go ahead and get started. We have a very exciting guest this evening. We do have a little bit of a slight delay. We think it's actually StreamYard. So the great news is, don't blame us, blame StreamYard. But that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbles. But we're going to make the best of it, because that's what we do. We take shit and turn it into a shit sandwich. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and greet everybody. First in chat this evening is Anti-Misfit. Brother, great to see you, man. First in chat. We'll do a how about one crisp high five? Appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother. Dang, my camera totally went out of focus when I did that. And also, Zanti Misfit, as you'll see here, is also a channel member. So we appreciate you, brother. Thank you. We got Flying Rich Firearms, who, by the way, just hit 20,000 subscribers. Congratulations to you, Rich. You earned it. Kind of. Uh, and I'm just poking fun just because you always remix other people's content, which it's okay. It's okay. I'm just kidding. You know I love you, bud. Let's see. Xanthi Misfit, Flying Rich Firearms. Of course, Flying Rich's personal account, who is a channel member and a moderator. So appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Let's see. We got Xanthi, Kurt 24. How did I miss Kurt? Kurt 24, brother. Great to see you. And look at this. Kurt was already dropping CMMG's links and stuff like early, like super early. And I was like, oh, snap. Hold up. I don't think we're supposed to do that. So we're like, yeah, let's just say drop this YouTube channel or visit them online, Google their name and stuff. Because you know the thing. Anyway, Kurt 24, we love you, bud. Kurt 24, the producer of the show. Kurt, I appreciate everything that you do, man. You do a lot of work behind the scenes, and you probably only sleep for a few hours a night. So show Kurt some extra love. All right. Sees Anti Misfit, Flying Rich, Mike McClune, the Goon, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see, Kurt, Mike, Flying Rich, Mike McClune, the Goon, Zanti Blue, Kurt and Burner, brother. Great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, we got Mark Tucker, Mopka. Great to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Let's see, Zanti, Mike McClune. Just making sure I don't miss anybody here. Hey, Shauna. Great to see you, Shauna. Also a moderator and a channel member. We appreciate you. We've missed you guys. Shauna and Jason have not been around a whole lot, but it is great to have you back. And just look at the stuff. Welcome everybody. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. Like, look, I'm super grateful for all y'all. You guys are incredible. Let's see. We got Zanti, Flying Rich. Let's see, Kurt 25, Mike McClune, the Goon, Shauna, Marconi. Great to see you, Marconi, brother. Appreciate you hanging out as well. Let's see, Zanti, Kurt 24, Shauna Ewing. Let's see, that's Zanti, Kurt 24. It's helpful that all the names show up in green that are channel members, but all the names show up in green. So when you guys come and you write like 10 things, which is totally fine. I love when you write 10 things. It says 10 green names, but they're all the same. T for Tejas, brother, great to see you. Also a channel member. Appreciate you, brother. Hey, look at that. Agorizer, brother. Great to see you. Appreciate you. Hold up? Did somebody share, subscribe, or channel memberships? Did I miss that? Because I think, right? No. Agorizer's been a member. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Sometimes you can't trust YouTube or StreamYard. So that's why I think it's dropping the ball. Excuse me. Okay, Kurt 24, Shauna Ewing. Let's see, Mike McClune, the Goon, T for Tejas, Kurt 24. Hey, Mike McClune. Dang, 32 months, Chana member. And I totally just, it sucks that on mobile, you guys can see like the emojis, but on the computer, this is what we see. Glocks, Kimlight, Eagle. Like, come on, man. I wish they'll get there, right? One day, the biggest tech company in the world. We'll see. Okay, let's see who else we got. Shauna Memba, Agorizer, brother, great to see you as well. Zanti, Aggie, come on, Kurt 24, Marconi. There he is. Live life, brother, great to see you. Appreciate you coming and hanging out as well. Let's see, Shauna Memba, Kurt 24, Agorizer, bro. Hey, Murph, dog, brother, great to see you, man. Appreciate you coming to hang out. And all the honorable mentions as well. Man, thank you all so much for coming and hanging out. We got G23 in chat. We got Tim S. Damien, my brother in Christ. Great to see you. Traveler, G23Z, which let's be honest, that G23 was converted with a 40-9 barrel because no one shoots 40 cal anymore. We'll see. James, Fat Gray Man, yo, FGM, you were like one of the top 5 commenters on the channel, like in the entire history. It said you had like 93 comments on my videos this month. So thank you. Keep it up, please. Tech Money, brother, great to see you. Blame StreamYard. Blame Canada. Yes. Well, look, you guys know one thing that we are around here. We talk a lot about gear and equipment. We talk a lot about Glocks. We talk a lot about ARs. And you know what? there's a particular company that's honestly made a big impact in the industry. Hey, Mark Tucka, look at that, member for 19 months, bro. Thank you. You're the man. Um, yeah, there's a specific company that has made a big impact in the industry, and they've come out with some fire. I've actually fired a bunch of their stuff at IV-88 range days, and you just can't ignore what they're doing in the industry. And one of my favorite people from that super rad company is Mike with CMMG, and we're going to bring him on. And I also just want to throw out there a little reminder that we are working on a little bit of a delay, but we're all going to be nice. And Barton Fink, brother, great to see you. And we're also going to go ahead and bring him on. So, Mike of CMMG, welcome, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Good evening.
Good evening. So I informed them. I know you can hear. I informed them that there's a slight delay, so we're just gonna roll with it, and I think it's gonna be great. And
And
if
we're
it is
blaming Canada, right?
StreamYard, what's that?
I said we're blaming Canada.
Exactly. Blame Canada. I totally wanted
Yeah,
to
delay.
sing that when I yeah. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you. All that good stuff.
Well, I'm Mike. I work for CMMG, and the nice thing about it is where you can find us is most places. It's just those letters, CMMG. So there's the
Nice.
website. So you're gonna obviously have a .com there. You're gonna see all the different socials. So you're gonna see, yeah, at CMMG in most
Mhm.
cases. So Instagram, YouTube. I think we're on Rumble a little bit. We have a dedicated social media person, so we're probably on more platforms than we were when I used to do all of that stuff. So it's nice to have somebody there that can take control over all those things. But
Nice.
as far as what I do, whatever the upper management CEO and everybody asked me to do today. But long and short of it, I do PR and public relations and things like my main thing is I work a lot with the content creators and reviewers and stuff, and then I'm
Mhm.
also kind of the face of the company on our socials.
Nice. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I honestly going to events and things like that, like it just brightens my day seeing you, knowing that I'm going to be able to run a full auto Mark 47 and dunk it into a cooler. Dude, I can't wait to discuss that. That's just super cool watching you guys do. You guys are always doing some just pretty nasty shit. I love it.
We try to have fun. I mean, ultimately, we are. I mean, we're a manufacturer. We're in business to make money ultimately, but we don't always take ourselves the most serious.
Mhm.
So we like to get out and we like to have fun.
Mhm. You know, it's funny too, as well, I'll get to that in a second. Flying Rich says, thank you for the super chat. He says, I've
I see
forgotten what
that.
a manly and handsome man he is. I'm telling you, it's that extra the extra facial hair you got there. How long did it take you to grow that thing out?
I actually trim it quite a bit. The beard came back officially. Oh man, how long ago? 7 or 8 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. I've had facial hair. I've only been clean shaven twice since 1999.
Wow, wow. Yeah, it took me a few months to bring this out. I have a feeling like springs, if I were to grab it and just start like stretching, it would just like it recoils back in there. But yeah, it took me a little while to actually grow like the full beard. Live life 18 months, brother. Thank you, man, so much. Thankful for all y'all. You too, man. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Man,
off there.
I'm just gonna hijack your show tonight, and we're just gonna go on the beard care regimen.
Dude, you know what? I'm totally down because I need some help with, the beard care regimen. Because 'cause I'm like, I'll try oil one day, lotion one day, and then I'll see a commercial on Instagram, "Don't use lotion for your beard." I'm like, "Damn it." Dark just glued his on.
Well,
Yeah, I
I
totally
mean,
glued it on.
no, it's not glued. You got the straps hiding behind your earphones that nobody sees. It's literally just kind of like a mask, but it's a beard hanging down.
I would totally rock that. Absolutely. If it was like those, those, old school glasses with, like, the nose, the mustache, and the eyebrows, if I could just slip it on, I would do that. Sounds like something that automatically comes with an S vest. Oh, I'm just kidding, just kidding. So anyway, one question I've never gotten to, ask you is what kind of handgun do you carry?
My go tos now are, it kind of depends on the day, and depends on how I'm dressed, but there it's something in the Shadow Systems lineup.
Ooh, okay. Are you an XR kinda guy or a CR kinda guy or a DR kinda guy?
I have XRs, MRs, and CRs.
Okay. I picked up, an XR
So
920, the combat. I love that thing, man.
the XR was actually, so the XR 920 Elite was my first foray into Shadow Systems, and it was really funny. In 2024, my kind of New Year's resolution to myself was to get back on the range and train more because I let my training get a little stale, and I definitely need to have a bit of a refresher. And I've always done so much training with a Glock 19 that I took a course and I wanted to run a Glock 19, no red dot iron sights. And I'm getting older, and I found out really quick that I don't run that as good as I once did. And mid
Mhm.
course, I asked the instructor if I could change to my XR 920, and then I just started smoking everybody in there.
Oh, wow. Nice. Was it a pistol and rifle course, or was it primarily focused on pistol?
That one was just a pistol course.
Okay.
It's definitely one of my loves. Prior to being as busy as I am now, I also used to be a firearms instructor here in Missouri. So I used to
Okay.
teach conceal and carry. I used to teach advanced classes. I used to do rifle classes and everything. I helped design one of the first rifle classes for the organization I worked for. So I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I love the whole training side of things. But it's like I said, it's definitely a bit of a perishable skill. You got to make sure you keep it honed across all avenues. And that was kind of one of the things I used to always say too is like, I could teach you a certain set of skills, but it's up to you to figure out how you're going to use them. And I'm only going to teach you one set. So learn from as many people as you can. And me being an instructor, I still took a ton of classes. And that's one of the things I'm trying to keep myself up on now too, is just keep myself fresh and, you know, learn new tricks if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's huge, and I definitely think that, in this world, in, like, the firearm world, a lot of people tend to, like, if they seek out training, they may seek out training, do a couple classes, maybe a few classes, and, then they just kinda go off on their own and go to the range and practice, and it's very easy, and I think it's important for all of us to understand, it is very easy for us to practice bad habits consistently. So, definitely getting
Yep.
the, constructive criticism of an instructor, especially you being an instructor and seeking out instruction, that's huge, and that's really cool, and it also says a lot about who you are as a person. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean we're all going to learn something. Kind of the My mentor that really got me into firearms instruction, he always said it's your gunfight, fight it how you need to. And he would always often say, it is, this isn't the way, this is a way.
Mm,
So it's one of those things that, that's one of the things I love. I love sharing as much knowledge about, I don't care what it is, firearm safety, handling, operation, platforms. I just absolutely love sharing the information and getting that out there. And on the flip side of that, I'm an absolute sponge when it comes to that stuff too, and I want to learn
mm.
as much as I can to replace what I'm sharing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I think a lot of us in the firearms world should continue seeking out training, no matter how awesome you guys are, no matter how awesome I am. And trust me, I'm awesome. I'm kidding. We need to make sure that we stay up on that stuff. And it's a perishable skill, like you said, and keep it in the fridge, fellas. Keep it fresh, and continue to seek out training. And you know what I learned? A lot of people kind of, after they get to a certain point, they'll look at like a basic course, basic handgun, basic rifle, or like intro to, you know, well, all the way up to like advanced gunfighter courses. Like, what I found is when I went out and sought out a bunch of basic courses with different instructors, I was learning all sorts of different stuff from instructors all over the place, because every instructor is different. And it was really cool to get like seeing the same type of classes but with different instructors. And I kind of felt like I learned a little bit more, and it's just kind of polishing those skills.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's one of the things I'm really looking at trying to do for us this year is, or at least in 2025, maybe trying to start a way of doing it is we have our own facility and range now. And I'm really trying to work on bringing, some, fairly well known instructors to us to maybe have like carbine classes where you can run a complete class with a very sought after or well known instructor,
Mm.
and using our guns, or whatever it might take. I'm not opposed to us using our facilities for firearms, handgun instruction and stuff too, or shotgun or whatever it might be. But we have the facility, and I would like to try to get more use out of it.
So is that because you guys have been kind of making a bunch of changes at CMMG, good positive changes, growth? Is that one of the things that you guys included, or did you always have a range?
We actually got the range. Our first event was our 20th anniversary event, and that would have been in the fall of 22. So that, yeah, that would have been our 20th anniversary. And we actually bought the land and built the range and everything because we saved a little bit of money by not doing other things in the industry.
Yeah, yeah. Some other things that some individuals believe is like almost like it's mandatory, when really it kind of feels like a popularity contest at times. So that's just me, DLD After Dark, making that statement.
That's a very polite way of putting it versus what I say sometimes.
Yeah, I do my best to. I could politically arrange.
Popularity contest.
Yeah, yeah. Pissing contest, dick measuring contest, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to say. Um,
There.
it's there's a few people out there that have literally said to me, and I'm not taking shots at the people. So if the people are watching now, okay, I'm not taking a shot at you, but they have been like, SHOT Show is a professional event, and if you say that you are a professional in the industry, or if you intend to be a professional in the industry, then you should attend this professional event. And I'm like, what? Like that's it. It first off, it's totally dried up from what it once was, right? It was like the place where everything was introduced. Like, it was just the whole year was, basically getting prepared for SHOT Show, and doing all this R&D, manufacturing, and T&E, and all this stuff to get to the point of, like, we know that we can release this by SHOT, or shit, we need to shelf that because we can't release it by SHOT, so we need to say this is coming next year. Next SHOT. But it's kind of turned into, like, um something different. So
Yeah, at one point I would say it was the professional show, because I think that's kind of the stigma it got, because you had to be in the industry in some way, shape, or form to get into SHOT Show. And
yeah.
then it kind of got to be a little more lax. I mean, I don't know that I necessarily want to say that, but
Don't
um,
let anybody in this
you
damn
started
place.
seeing a, I mean, the exclusivity definitely faded, and that became evident by just doing the range days, because we had range days that it was pretty evident that the attendees were not vetted very well, because you've got people that had zero business touching a firearm, that
Yeah.
are out there shooting machine guns and launching stuff over the berms, and the range safety people are getting mad at us because the attendees can't shoot.
Oof.
So it's kind of a different world. And then you got to the point where, I mean, and I'm not trying to belittle anybody in the social media world that has a YouTube channel and is putting in the work to try to grow. But it also got to the point where if you had a YouTube channel, you all of a sudden were media. And
Yeah.
you had everybody come into your booth wanting to talk to you about stuff. And then, so now me as a exhibitor, I've got to, I've got to try to buy my time between this dealer that wants to buy X amount of product, or this media person that wants to promote X amount of products, via their
Yeah.
channels, and trying to figure out which one works best, and ultimately finding out kind of the ROI for the event itself just isn't there, because I don't think people realize how much it costs as a manufacturer to exhibit at a show like that.
Oh, yeah, it's insane, especially with a very notable booth or booth sections. It's crazy. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to keep up with that. I mean, that is quite literally the keeping up with the Joneses attitude. That you know, yeah,
It quite literally is. I mean, for years we were in like a little 20 by 20 booth in the law enforcement section, and people knew where we were at, but kind of our goal was to get into the big room. Like, we wanted a big booth in the big room, and we
hmm
kept striving toward that. But, so in actually 2020 was the last year, um, that we exhibited in SHOT Show. So
yeah.
like right
Let's
after SHOT Show was when.
Sorry, real quick. I was
Go
just
ahead.
gonna say, let's talk about that, because it's possible that a lot of people here don't know kind of what happened around that time frame and the decision that you guys made, which I admire what you guys chose to do. So you want to kind of tell that backstory a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it was so 2020. At the time, we didn't realize it was going to be our last SHOT Show, but we had SHOT Show, and then all of a sudden, everybody started getting sick, and it wasn't
Yeah,
just the normal SHOT Show flu. So it's uh, things started to get questioned, and then a couple months later is when the NRA annual meetings and shows would have normally been kicking into gear,
hmm
and everything was shutting down, and that got canceled or at least postponed. And we're like, okay, well, we obviously don't need to do this. And then we started looking at different alternatives. We're finding out that, hey, instead of me necessarily sitting at SHOT Show, or a show, with trying to make an appointment with this vendor, we could now do kind of like we're doing right now. I could have a Zoom call and I could showcase things to people specifically, answer things one on one. You don't have the buzzing and humming and just frenzy that is SHOT Show or
Mhm.
NRA Show going on around you. And then it came time to try to go ahead and renew for 2021. At least SHOT Show, I was the planner for that type of stuff at that time. So I was the guy that was actually like buying the floor space, arranging the booth to be built, arranging the logistics and all that stuff. And my ownership was just kind of like, yeah, we're not going to do SHOT Show in 21. And me being kind of timid was like, are you sure? I was like, because if we do this, you can't undo it.
Yeah, it's a
And
big
they're like,
deal.
yeah, we're sure. So it is. You like if you want to go back, you start back at square one, and
Mhm.
it's definitely a pain to get back to where you were. Um, and so I had a really good rep at SSF, and we were talking about how things might fall and say, okay, well, you've already paid this deposit. You should use it toward this. So I go to ownership and say, hey, what if we just decided to downsize and still use that money for a small booth or something? And they're like, nope, we're out. So essentially, all the money that we paid for a deposit ended up being a donation to NSSF because we couldn't get refunded any of it, and we just stopped doing SHOT Show. And around that same time, we also realized that the NRA show was quite costly, and we stopped doing the big NRA annual shows and meetings. And the
Mhm.
money that we saved by not doing those big shows, we were able to buy 32 acres, put a 300-yard range on it, completely covered, concreted, gigabit internet, like ceiling
Damn.
fans, and a clubhouse and all that stuff for everybody to be able to enjoy time off the range while out there.
Dude, that's incredible. That's and I is not to take anything away from SHOT Show or NSSF or any of the guys and gals that do all that hard work. No, but that is just incredible. Like I don't understand why more companies don't do that. And also just like the self-sufficiency aspect of it and like being able to say like F this, like let's have our own event if you choose to, or let's use it for other things or for filming or for doing your own social media instead of having to rely on a bunch of strangers to talk about your products. I think that's really cool. I admire that.
Yeah, so I mean, if you figure what we're saving each year by not doing that, we're able to bring dealers to us directly. So, like annually, in I think it's September every year now, we bring like 50 to 100 dealers to us. And when I say we bring dealers to us, we pay for them to come to us. Like
Wow.
we'll fly them in, we'll put them up in hotels, and they will come to us, and then they get like a factory tour, and then they get like range time with all of our products. So you now have dealers that get to see behind the curtain of how things are made. They get to talk to the engineers. They get, on how things are designed. They get to talk to the machinists that are making the products, and then they get to get hands on everything. So that way, whenever a customer comes into their store, they can actually say, yes, I have shot this and this is my feelings about it versus I watched somebody's video on it. So,
Yeah.
we're able to actually bring people out, or if we have a special release, we can get a hold of certain, content creators and bring them to us and say, okay, here's the lay of the land. Have fun, do your thing.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that. And it's also kind of like we're gonna go against the grain moment for CMMG. And like you guys have been doing pretty well over the last few years. So looks like it's
Well,
working
that's
out
one
for
thing
you.
too, is, I mean, yeah, I mean, we don't just. I mean, and again, I'm not. I have a lot of friends in the firearms industry, and I have a lot of friends that I've made in competing companies. So I'm not trying to
Mhm.
say anything negative, but
Yeah.
there are certain companies that are content with just making another 223 or throwing a different handguard on it or something like that. You can
Mhm.
definitely tell by our lineup, we definitely step outside of our comfort zone a lot, and we try to figure out what's going on. And sometimes we swing and we knock it out of the park. Sometimes we swing and go, okay, yeah, that was that wasn't quite what we were expecting the outcome on, but it's we have. I can't remember how many we're up to now, like 15 different calibers across a multitude of different platforms, and
Wow. Wow.
more very imminent. I mean, we're at the end of November now, so we're like Sunday. I think Sunday is December 1st. 10-year anniversary of the Mark 47. So that came out 10 years ago on Sunday. So
Whoa,
it's just,
that's crazy.
we're always trying to come up with fun stuff.
Dude, I'll never forget the first time I went to IV-88 and I saw you guys there. I was just watching a bunch of people just, cook rounds out of the Mark 47 and just dump it. And for those of you guys that don't know, the Mark 47 is an AR style platform that is in 7.62 by 39 that also takes AK mags, which the Dissent version is right there, which the Dissent version is a piston driven model. Um, it's no buffer, so you can fold the stock or brace. It's really cool.
Direct
But
impingement, though.
oh, that's right, it is direct impingement. Dude, I totally forgot. It's
Yep.
a bufferless direct impingement system.
Yeah, we had a little fun with that. We were like, hey, look what we can do. It's a compact action without a piston.
Dude, that's nasty. I would actually like to dive in to a little more about that because I actually I forgot about that. I don't have a full understanding of what that looks like under the hood. But my first time at IV-88, I was just seeing the Mark 47 just get like brutalized, and I don't even think in a good way, and I don't even think I've ever seen that gun malfunction. It may have, but when it started getting so like scalding freaking hot that it was just smoking, Mike and the dudes at CMMG grabbed it by the buffer tube, walked it over to a cooler full of ice, which very soon turned into a cooler full of water. And they dunked the thing into the cooler and just, I mean, you can literally see like it looks like the water is like boiling in there when you put dunk it in there, and it was just crazy to see that. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Rudy Finney, dude. Rudy Finney, you are the man. During this conversation, while we were just sitting here chatting, Rudy Finney just sent me a $40 Cash App, brother. Rudy, you're freaking awesome, man. Thank you so much. And Rudy, don't forget to check out CMMG online as well to take a look at some of these incredible firearms here. But yeah, dude, I'll never forget that. And just like you guys do the shit that no one else does, right? Like you take a stock system and you say, you know what? Six position stocks are cool, but let's make something like the rip stock and just like whack, you can just like rip that mofo out, and like it's like let's these guns are cool, but let's delete the freaking buffer and make it a bufferless direct impingement system, and let's make it take AK mags, and you know what, let's make a freaking Banshee in 5.7 and just all sorts of crazy stuff, man. I just admire that a lot. You guys are totally thinking like outside of the box.
It's funny. A lot of the stuff, though, we work on it for so long that sometimes by the time it comes to market, we're already a few guns in the background ahead. So we're already on to the next project behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and it's it's kind of fun just because you take it for granted sometimes, some of the things that we do. Like you mentioned the ripstock. I get
Mhm.
so used to the ripstock that I could go into another gun store and I'll grab a gun and I'll try to just rip their stock, and I kind of deflated just a little bit when their stock doesn't do it. you
Yeah.
know,
Well, dude, that's
and
that's simple,
and
but it's
and
a pretty genius design, man.
it's ignorantly simple. And we were so surprised when we were like, how has nobody done this yet?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, what the hell? We'll do it.
Yeah. Dude, the first time I yanked one open, at first I would, hit the release and then pull it open, and they were like, "Dude, that's a ripstock." I don't know, well, we'll talk offline about where it was, but, they were like, that's a ripstock, right?" And I was like, "What the hell is a ripstock?" He was like, "Rip it, like, rip it open, and you can put a set screw in there to where it stops at your desired length of pull as well." So I just and it just opened up, and it's like, "Dude, this thing is awesome." So you could throw for you guys out there, you could throw a little gun, excuse me, in a little bag, right? Like have a trunk gun or something like that, and just take that thing out and just and just it's ready to go, ready to put some work in. Dang, Rudy Finney again. Holy moly, Rudy. After just cash apping me $40, just purchased 5 DLD After Dark channel memberships that randomly go out to you guys. So Rudy, thank you so much, man. You are an excellent supporter, my friend. Maybe with all the
That's
support, maybe
awesome,
I
Rudy.
can go pick up a Dissent or something like that. I do really like the Dissents. Those are cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the next natural evolution. It was really kind of funny how the Descent came to be. It was something we were working on behind the scenes. We were working on a compact action. Um, it's ultimately we were working on what has now been released and is known as the BR series. So it's the ranch rifle style or the more compliant state rifle versions that take the Remington 870 style stock.
Hmm.
So our goal was to get to that, a system that didn't require a traditional buffer tube and buffer. So we came up with the compact action. We put it in a standard AR system. It didn't need a stock to operate, and we were
Hmm.
right there on it. And that's when the pistol brace thing came out. And it's like,
Hmm.
the factory criteria for AR pistols with a stabilizing brace, whatever that bullcrap was
Yeah.
that they named that. And we're like, hey, this doesn't need a buffer tube. It doesn't need a pistol stabilizing brace. And since then, the name Dissent was born because we were like dissenting against the ATF. We're like, screw you. We
Nice.
still have a AR pistol that's going to work and it doesn't need a brace.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
awesome.
everything has come from there.
Dude, that's awesome. And it's so cool because, like, during the time that, braced pistols were, because there was some confusion during that time that, braced pistols were okay, then they were not okay, then they were SPRs, then there was an injunction, and then there was so much back and forth, kind of like it is with Vanderstock with the, 80% lowers. They're okay, they're not okay, then they're back to being okay again, but there's an injunction, but the injunction was stayed, and even people in the industry are like, I don't know. I don't know if it's okay. But to go through a gun shop around that time, there's a big gun shop and a rather large training facility where I'm located. And I'll tell you what I did see all throughout that shop is CMMGs, Banshees, and Descents freaking all over the place. And that it was just really cool. Because the Banshees were just tubes, they just left the tubes on them. So it was badass to see that.
Yeah, it was one of those really tricky things because, I mean, as a manufacturer, you know, I mean, our license to manufacture those is given by a certain three-letter agency, and so as a manufacturer, we have to comply in certain ways. Whereas if I were to cover this up and me just talk as Mike, the firearm owner, I'm going to say question authority and stuff a lot of times.
Yeah.
And, you could probably ask a lot of senior officers in our company and owners, and they're all going to have a very similar mindset. But people were getting mad at us because they were like, well, you're complying, but yet you're saying that we should do otherwise. And you're spending money to join these lawsuits against all this, but yet you're complying. And what people don't realize is if we want to continue manufacturing firearms, we have to.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, we're fighting against it and we're trying to come up with ways around it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that whole back and forth, like we had to react in like a few hours. Like something would happen and we would go, oh shit. And
Yeah.
then we would scramble to try to make sure that we had stuff that people could still buy. So we had to reconfigure stuff, at the drop of a hat and figure things
Yeah.
out. So when the injunction came in place, we were one of the first companies to go, braces are back on the menu, boys. Come get them.
Yeah.
And we weren't afraid to jump on that. So much so that we had issues with certain FFLs because people would come to our website and purchase them, and then they would go to ship it to the FFL, and the FFL would refuse it because the FFL didn't recognize the injunction.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, I dealt with that too. The one of the local spots out here too, actually one of the same places I just was referring to, the day that it was made public, the day after that it was made public, like this was back in like October, November, before the rule was actually in place, to where when the Federal Registry was still registrar, whatever, was still open for comment. The next day, they pulled all everything with braces, and they even pulled the physical braces like by themselves off their floor. And they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing this at all." And I was like, "Well, it's still like you guys are still good till like December 15th or whatever it was, but even then." Braces, like, in isolation of themselves, like, are you gonna remove all your stocks too, dude? Like, it's okay to still sell, and I think a lot of places were just scared and unclear, and I think that's kinda, what was going on, but to kinda hit back on what you were saying, it's like, you know, you could choose to fight lawfully, but also choose to still stay in business to where you can still proliferate freedom and firearms all over the place. Because if we say, "Oh, this is the hill we're going to die on," F the ATF and all this stuff, like that's cool. But then it's not cool when you get raided and taken out of business and everyone loses their jobs and all y'all's families, or it's just like just one of those things that you just got to kind of color within the lines on and stuff.
Well, the big injunction that came into place that would really change everything that said, hey, guess what? Braces are back on the menu. The big change that came, not just like the ones that were affecting like GOA and FPC and stuff, but the
Hmm.
larger one that came into place, we were a unnamed plaintiff in that case.
Oh wow.
So it's one of those things that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes there, but we were definitely involved in that very heavily. So we're putting where our mouth is too. We're like, hey,
Yeah.
we believe that you know all of these restrictions or all of these little things are infringements, and
Yeah.
that shouldn't be the case. So we want everybody to be able to enjoy their Second Amendment right, and we're gonna fight to keep that up too.
Yeah,
And
I appreciate that.
we've got some great legislators from the state of Missouri that are in there in the fight too. We've got Eric Schmidt and Josh Hawley that they get
Nice.
into the thick of things right now, and it's kind of fun to watch that. We're like, yes, get in there and fight too. So
Yeah, hell yeah. We do have a question from the audience here. If you could sum up into one word your thoughts on the 40 caliber cartridge, what one word would you call it? And stupid and gay could count as one word. I'm just kidding.
um, let's see. What would I say?
Just to give you
I
a
I'm
heads up,
trying to think of a word that closely comes to mind with extinct, but not quite like endangered.
ooh, endangered. That's a good one. That's a good one. We have a little bit of fun. We joke around about how 40 cal is like just dead, DOA, but they make fun of me because there was a moment in my life where I had to draw a handgun to stop crazy man with a knife, and it was a 40 cal. So even though I bash on 40 cal and 40 cal guys, even though I love y'all, every chance that I get, they love reminding me that a 40 caliber changed my life or saved my life, not changed my life, saved my life. So, yeah, so G23, of course, G23 says CMMG should make a DLD After Dark PCC in 40 Smith & Wesson. What are the chances you think something like that
Well, I
will
mean,
come out?
we could have a little fun with this because we do make a Banshee in 40 Smith and Wesson.
Do you really?
And fun fact, yes, we do.
I had no
uh,
idea.
really fun fact for all those 10 millimeter fans out there, we sell more 40s than we do 10 millimeters.
Whoa. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that in the world, but yeah, we sell more 40s than we do 10 millimeters. But yeah, so we have a Banshee in 40 Smith and Wesson. We actually have like a 5-inch barrel and 8-inch and a 16-inch technically. It is a Glock fed. So yeah, I mean, we could probably talk and see about doing some, custom Cerakoted version of one of those specifically for DLD. So you could have the DLD 40.
Dude, that would be
But but on the
hilarious.
flip side of that too, though, we'll have to talk offline here a little bit.
For sure.
But but speaking of 40 though, I mean in 2008, I mean I don't necessarily get into the political realm of things, but in 2008, there was a particular politician that was anti-gun that got elected to the presidency. And in 2008, there was a major run on ammunition. Stuff was very hard to find. But
Mhm.
one of the things I could always find on shelves, no matter where I went, was 40 Smith and Wesson. So guess what? I bought a Glock 23.
Yep, I did the same thing, and that actually was the time frame that I had that 23 that did indeed save my life, but I'm pretty sure it saved my life because the muzzle of a gun was, pressing up in the direction of someone's face rather than the fact that it was a 40 cal. I'm pretty sure it could have been a 22 and it probably would have, scared the individual. But either way, I make light of it now, but in that moment I was terrified. But Kurt24 has a question. He says, DLD After Dark, can you ask about the new MKAR lowers they just posted on YouTube? I saw a 5.7 lower.
I actually saw that comment. I'm glad you came around to it.
Yeah.
For one, it's not new. It's been out since at least I think 2018. Uh, I did just drop a lot of content on YouTube trying to explain what all the lowers were a little bit more. But we do have a lower called the Mark 57 or MK57, and it is a lower that operates with our 5.7 radial delay blowback upper that takes FN 5.7 style handgun magazines. So that is one version that you can get a 5.7 in ours, and that is going to be dedicated to the FN 5.7 style magazine. Or you can still use the Mark 57 upper with a standard AR lower and use our like conversion magazines and just run a standard AR lower that does 5.7. So
That's
we've
pretty
actually been in the
badass.
5.7 game for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah, you guys have. That's and yeah, as I was thinking about that, that the 5.7 has been out for a minute. I also forgot that that was radial delay blowback, which is super cool. And this gentleman here, Joe Morris, is a huge Banshee believer. He loves his. I think he's got a 9 millimeter Banshee, and if I'm not mistaken, he may have a 7.6. Oh no, that's the HK and 7.62 by 39. But he loves his Banshee. He's showed it off a bunch too. CMMG has upped the
Love hearing it.
scales
Thanks,
regarding
Joe.
innovation as compared to BCM and PSA. Yeah, dude, CMMG has done a lot. Even look, I was showing their site earlier, man, and just like panning through like the picture, like if you go to their website, this is what pops up. Like just looking at their fit and finish, and looking at their I didn't even know that you guys had the I guess kind of SPR, maybe medium long range, the Endeavor line. I didn't
Those
even know
guys.
about that. Yeah, yeah, I had no idea.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. I do love the look of the Banshee and Descent, and
Yeah.
actually,
So
I helped Josh with Black Diamond Guns and Gear. I helped him do his first, I guess, ever gunsmithing in his life, and he changed his barrel on his on his Descent, which was hilarious because it was his first time doing it. But yeah, no, I love these things; they're gorgeous.
oh, is that the one he changed from like 300 blackout to 5.56?
Yep, yep,
And that was fairly recently, wasn't it?
yeah. That was I think over the past week or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
So,
like
yeah,
within
he
the
reached
last
out to
week.
me because and said he had done it.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
So I mean,
he
like, if we
keeps
want,
that,
we can. We
sorry. I know there's still a little bit of delay. I apologize, but if he hasn't shared this with you, just so you know, Josh carries his, and I'm only saying this because he's publicly said it several times. He carries his 9 millimeter Banshee in his backpack, which is his church bag, and that is like his daily church backpack gun.
Yeah, on Sunday he texted me. I'm going to quote him here. He says, "I actually just switched my 300 black barrel on my Descent to 5.56 on Friday and went to the range to try it out to do some videos with." So I'm guessing you were hanging out with him on Friday of last week.
Well, we were actually FaceTiming, and I was like telling him, like, no, do this, try
Oh,
this. No, that you have to do it this way. Don't it was like, don't, you're gonna scratch your gun. Don't do that. Like it was funny. He's a good guy, but he had the whole like real
oh, I
avid
forgot. I forgot. He wasn't the gunsmith of the two Joshes,
yeah, yeah. The other Josh was the guy that can do the things.
right?
But he did it though. He
So,
did a good
so
job.
yeah, awesome. So for people curious, I can give a really kind of I could try to give a very simplistic overview of our platforms because with
Yeah.
our naming, a lot of people get confused by them sometimes. And the simplest way for me to try to explain to people what we have is if you think of the Banshees, Banshees are going to be anything with a traditional buffer that has less than a 16-inch barrel. If you look at the Descent, that is our compact action. So that is all barrel lengths, but it does not have a buffer, and a traditional buffer. When you look at the Resolute, think of a 16-inch gun. That's a Resolute. That's going to be traditional buffered system. And then when you think of the Endeavor, that's going to be barrels longer than 16 inches. So your DMRs and stuff, 18 to 24-inch barrels. So that's basically our four lines. So you have, less than 16-inch on the Banshee, 16-inch on the Resolute, over 16-inch on the Endeavor, and then compact action so that you don't have buffers, traditional buffers on everything in the Descent. And the new BR series, which is that compliant rifle and ranch rifle, is a member of the Descent family.
Nice, nice. I just have to say, huge kudos. We're operating on like a 3 to 4 second delay, if you guys hadn't noticed, and he was able to roll through the different types and like designations of firearms, like right as they were rolling through. Beautiful timing on that. I got to say that that was great work.
This is my second rodeo.
Yeah, right. My literal second. DLD
Yeah,
second
it's not
channel
my
name,
first.
my two Joshes. Love me a Banshee and 10 millimeter. Nice, D Whoop. Good to see you as well, my friend. CMMG does have some of the best looking firearms. Nice. Would you qual and I know this is kind of tough to say, right? But like there a lot of folks have kind of taken on like well, these guns are just guns, but these guns are duty guns, like guns that can get carried every day, thrown around in the truck or the car every day, kind of beat up, neglected a little bit. Would you categorize CMMGs, the different lines of rifles as like duty grade or beyond, or where would you place them?
Um, I would definitely like to say duty grade. Man, I think we honestly cover a very wide swath.
Mhm.
There are people like me that buy our guns and I will use it in a duty, role. I mean, the ones I'm gonna have, they're bought or built with a purpose, and that is to run when I need them to.
Mhm.
There are other people that just absolutely love the fit and finish and look, and they buy them as safe queens. No harm, no foul on that. That's just not something I choose to do. But if somebody wants to, I'd love to hear that. But it's kind of all over the place because you can think of the kind of quote unquote mil spec. And you can see where certain things fall, and some people will be like, okay, well, let's face it, if it's good enough for the military, that means it's probably still crap.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
It really kind of depends on where it falls, but I would consider them duty. We are live streaming on YouTube right now. Otherwise, you can see right here over my shoulder, I've
Yeah,
got, you know, two that are ready to go. What I would consider duty versions back here. Um,
nice.
Suppressor ready and stuff. And I'm one of those people that I still subscribe to the old school anodized finish because I know I'm going to beat the tar out of my guns, and I don't really.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about the Cerakote. The Cerakote's fun, and we've got some really cool colors, and I like them. And there's a couple, but I've bought and I've Cerakoted guns before, and then they don't stay in my safe because I'm like, I don't know why. I just stick with guns that I'm going to beat the tar out of.
yeah. It definitely adds like a level of character, and it gives it something special when you've just beat the dog shit out of something. I don't know why. It's just it's something that like I'm working on that on the Geisley, and this guy has had like over 12,000 rounds through it with the same bolt and BCG and can. Ooh. But yeah, no, I think like even going back to when I just um sorry, I just had to check something real quick. Even going back to when like I just started building or assembling, man, the CMMG parts kits were just like I remember the first time I saw the color coded baggies, and I was like, this is genius. Like as a dude that had only put together a couple lowers. But yeah, as someone else had
Yeah.
mentioned in the chat too, which I totally agree. Traveler says their AR parts are also quality without being pricey. And I've built, I don't even know how many firearms using the CMMG parts. They're just excellent.
Well, thank you. And that's one of the fun things too is even for our mil spec triggers, they're they don't feel as gritty and mil specky as you would
Yeah.
think of for a just standard trigger. I remember my you know fecal matter has hit the oscillating unit gun is it's what I call my BCMMG. So it's at its core
Nice.
it's a CMMG, but it's got some BCM components.
Nice.
And I took that to a carbine class, and I'm just running the crap out of it. And I had other people come up and they're wanting to run the gun. They're like, "Man, what trigger you have in here?" I'm like, "A really well used standard mil spec trigger."
Yeah.
It's just the parts were mated together so smooth, it just ran, and there was nothing special about it. And it was from a gun that I built using those color coded bags years ago.
Yeah, dude, and BCM makes some really good stuff, and I've had a lot of good luck with them. I actually as well. I actually got a so we have a bunch of folks in here that also 3D print and build from 80% guns, 0% guns. Well, I just got a picture from Mr. Fromage, we call him. It's gutter cheese, and this looks to be a 3D printed XM57. It looks like there's like a Scorpion stock in it, but this is them using the 57 CMMG magazines in
Yep.
a XM57 3D printed uh, carbine rifle of some sort. That thing is pretty awesome.
So would that possibly be using our bolt and barrel then too?
Possibly. Maybe. Gutter cheese. What kind of bolt and barrel are you running in that? And is this a an alpha? And did I just totally blow the lid off of an alpha project without asking? Or usually I ask. I'm sorry. I'm terrible at that stuff. Hey, check
Wah,
out
wah,
this thing. So,
wah.
someone privately texted me. Sorry. Let's see what he says. My Banshee 9mm has never had any charging handle latched anodizing chips. Ran the Strike Industries latchless charging handle from day one. They vent gas to suppress too. Nice. That's what's up. Oh, this is actually a do-it-yourself bolt. Dang. KAK barrel. It's in public beta. Okay, nice. That's awesome, dude. Are you familiar with some of the 3D printing projects that have been uh, more DIY projects that have been becoming more available and popular?
I have. I might have a couple 3D printers sitting right over there. um,
Nice, nice.
and I'm slowly trying to get into more stuff myself. Again, with this might be something we discuss a little bit more offline because
For
I'm
sure.
still
Yeah,
trying to get direction.
yeah.
But
We can help with
without
direction.
letting the yeah, without letting the cat out of the bag, I will say, still very early stages, but in the next year, maybe a little over, we are working on a project that we are hoping to have some open stuff so that people can have a do their own 3D printed accessories and stuff for it.
Dude, that would be baller. That is a huge piece that a lot of companies have been missing out on. Man, if of course, don't worry, no one watches this, so no one will know. uh, no, the fact that like most companies they aren't opening themselves up to even doing some things to kind of include the 3D printing community. The builder community is less than 3% of the industry, which is kind of wild when you think about it. But that's 3% is still a pretty decent scoop. And then also like it could encourage other people to get into 3D printing as well. So that would be huge, and you would win a lot of hearts and minds. And I just want to say that I printed this cube today, and my printer is spot on. So let me just say that.
Nice.
There you go.
Yes,
It's a
it is. That's
calibration
a
cube.
good tolerance cube.
Yeah, I've been having some
Calibration cube,
issues
yeah.
today. Nice. So
Yeah,
what?
it's yeah, so I actually
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry about the delay. But yeah, I actually have a video that's going up tomorrow. It's just a new accessory that we have that allows you to run the 22 conversion kit in the new BR series guns, and it's just a little spacer that we have, and we actually just 3D print those in house out of like a TPU. So we're
Nice.
definitely supporting the 3D printing stuff. We have, um, like I said, I can't let the cat out of the bag as far as what the details are, but we are definitely working on a project to help incorporate the 3D printing industry a little bit. And we're also looking at doing more manufacturing using 3D printing processes in house
Nice.
soon.
Well,
So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun stuff we're coming out with.
if you end up needing or wanting like a closed beta group for testing of stuff, or just if you need a couple dozen people that you can trust to shut their mouths and be like, hey guys, try this stuff and make sure it works and stuff, just hit us up because we got a really solid group of some great dudes that are actually really skilled at all the things.
Yeah, one of the things I was actually starting to talk to people about too was I knew there was like a makers match or something like that at one
Yep.
point, like in Florida, I think, and I was hoping to maybe get something going with that so that we could help support in some way, shape, or form, that avenue of things. But I think I'm I'm working off dated information and maybe questionable information, but I don't know, if that's still as big a thing as it once was.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
they did it again this
again,
past year in Pennsylvania. So I would expect for it
yeah,
to
that's what.
occur every year, and I'd be happy to if I can help connect you with people that could, you know, that you guys could, chat offline. That'd be awesome.
As things are getting closer, you'll probably start hearing more from me because anything that I can get a foot in the door of that side of the community is definitely something I want to work with on. Um, but
Nice.
one of the things I did want to, I'm kind of all over the place here a little bit. I
No,
did
you're
want
doing
to
great.
step back really quick. Joe Morris before G23 said we had to do the DLD 40. Um, Joe Morris mentioned Grantham's video that was just released on Sunday regarding this Mark 47 Dissent. And if you were asking about if you would consider it a duty gun, that video answers that a lot. He was actually very thoroughly impressed, and he was doing 500-yard shots with a 12.5-inch barrel 7.62 by 39. So, I mean, it basically synopsis at the end was he was like, "Yep, this would pass as a duty gun easily all day." So that was kind of a badge of honor for us. You're muted.
Sorry, I was sitting here. Yeah, I hadn't checked out that video yet. There's been so much other great Grantham content to absorb over the last couple of weeks. No, I'm sorry, I'm kidding. But
Oh yeah,
the
the comments section is on fire like normal in his videos, maybe even a little more so now.
yeah, yeah, I figured. I haven't checked it out, but I would love to. And all the extra BS aside, I do find a lot of value in his videos. And I mean, look, dude, the videos that he did on the drop testing, I mean, that was invaluable information. He drop tested like 2 dozen different firearms, and we actually just recently lost a very, very good friend, just a little over a week ago, and it was likely due to him carrying a gun that was not drop safe. So I do think that information is super important and good to get out. Our friend Jonah of Big Mac Defense, um, it sounded like, and I don't have 100% confirmation, but it sounds like him and his girlfriend were in the new house that they just bought, and they were about to walk out the door, and he put a gun in the holster, and he was going to put the whole unit in his waistband, and it fell. And when it started to fall, um, he leaned over to try to maybe catch it before it hit the ground, or to try to stop it or something. And because he leaned over and bent over it, gravity took over as it was falling, and it fell grip down, muzzle up, and it discharged, and it struck him in the head. And dude, I mean, he was one of the safest people. Like he would yell at me for doing stuff over the camera, and I'm very cautious too. But it's just a shame. Like so that you know that information, the stuff that Grantham and some of his videos have done has been really important info. I think it's important for all of us.
Holy shit, dude, man, my heart just sunk on that whole story. That I don't have the
Yeah.
words, man.
Yeah, it sucks, man. He's a really good guy. He'd been on my show like a dozen times. He was an SOT out of North Carolina, and I talked to his sister, and they didn't really know like how much of an impact he had made on these little communities all over the place. Like coming on my show, coming on the Tactical Turkeys show, him and just his business dealings with running his company. He worked a lot in the night vision and the laser and IR light world too. So they didn't know how much of an impact he made outside of his like real life relationships. So I talked to her and I had said like, is it okay if I share what happened to bring an element of safety and awareness to this? And she had said yes. So I just to throw that out there, I for other people in the chat, I spoke with her and I got that permission. So but yeah, it's crazy. You never know. This is equipment that is made to eliminate living. It's made to extinguish life. It can also be made. It's made
Yeah.
for fun and sporting use and all that. But they're made to shoot tyrants in the face, and sometimes these pieces of equipment shoot the wrong faces. So yeah, so it sucks. Yeah, BV Luminous, very good point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Anthony, if anyone else out there did not know, Jonah Weiss did pass away. Thank you guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to take it to this place, but I thought that video that he did was really good and important information, and it rings truer now more so than any other time. And also, man, like there's so many guns that like people don't know they're not drop safe, right? Like I didn't know that like
Yeah.
nearly all 2011s with the 70s style firing pins, the floating firing pins, not drop safe. Remington 870s, Mossberg 500s, Mossberg 590s, there's all these guns that aren't drop safe, and it's like holy shit. So I think it's important info to get out.
Wasn't there a whole thing where like uh, something was going on with like SKSs or something like back in the day, where like if the gun got jarred bad enough that it could actually go off too?
I think I remember hearing something about that. I think I also heard that if it was damaged in a certain way, it turns into a restricted item of sorts as well.
Well, I mean, let's face it, a little bit too much wear on certain things can do that too.
That's very true. Yeah. Um, Yeah, sorry, I'm just going through. I'm reading. Oh yeah, the Banshee 100% will run a Fostech Echo 2, no problem. Fun facts. Dude, I run binary triggers in a lot of stuff, and yeah, that is an excellent point because I mean you can throw in any AR style trigger that you want in in Banshees, Descents, and Resolutes. Oh, and probably the is it the Endeavor?
Hmm.
You can really throw.
Everything for the VR series would run a standard drop-in trigger.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and, the Fostech Echoes are great. I run one. You gotta update the spring though, man. You gotta update the spring. Um, SKS
I couldn't get used to them.
to the binaries.
Yeah. but I'm fortunate enough that I work for a manufacturer, so if I want something that shoots fast, I can go just find something that has a third hole in it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a blessing for sure. That's cool. And you know, having
Yeah, people
SOT
ask me that
superpowers.
forever. They were like, yeah, people ask me forever. They're like, "Hey, Mike, how many NFA items do you have?" I'm like, "Zero. I don't need them. I have access to them daily."
Yeah.
It's just kind of one of the weird things. Like people would be like, "What would be one thing you tell people about your job that people wouldn't quite fully grasp?" And one of the last, I was doing something with Tundra Tactical. I'm like, yeah, this is what happened today. Like I was just walking through the floor, going from there's a little space between where the firearms get their final assembly and they go to
Mhm.
test fire. And I was walking between those areas and there just happened to be a Modus sitting there, completely mounted up on a tripod. And I was
And
just like, huh, that's not something you see all the time.
it's funny because I was actually gonna ask you, like, what is the craziest thing? Because look, all SOTs, have like, a few guns that are just like, yeah, we need this, this on the books. What's like the craziest gun in the CMMG collection?
What define crazy? I
Well, I
mean,
mean, I would say a
I mean,
Browning
I think they're
M2.
all freaking awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean crazy. By crazy, I
Well,
mean
I
like
mean,
crazy
we,
awesome.
oh man, yeah. I mean, if I brought you to the um, Connex container that is inside of our building that we have a lot of our machine guns in, you would probably um, not need the little blue pill.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. There's, you know,
It's
I yeah. I worked at an SOT for a
go for it.
while, and it's there's just like special thing, like one day I walk in and they're like, "Oh, hey, check out this full auto 416. Oh, have you ever seen like I mean just like crazy stuff. Like check out this full auto Norinco or this full auto Polytech underfolder." And I'm like, "What?" Like just crazy stuff. I mean, but crazy, I mean like, crazy awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite thing is actually uh, one of our AK-74Us.
Mm,
Absolutely love that gun. But we've got, I mean, we've got two 30s, we've got 249s, 60s, obviously Mauduces, a bunch of AKs, P90s. I mean, it's just a bunch of random stuff that's just like, this is
yeah.
absolutely insane just to walk by and see this stuff sit in there. But I mean, out of all of them, my favorite's got to be a 74U because it's just, I love the 545. Like I'm an AK guy. I love my
Mhm.
AKs.
Yeah.
And just that gun is just it's so sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's picking a favorite child. Granted, those aren't my personal firearms, but it's still like picking a favorite child.
Yeah.
I love them all equally.
Of course, yeah. I will say I do own an AKS 74U. It's an Arsenal. However, it's a stupid semi-auto, and it's an SBR, and it is in 5.56, which once upon a time was not very popular at all. I mean, everyone was like, "Ew,
It is
5.56, like
very popular
disgusting."
now
Dude, it's blowing up. Those things are going for like 2,500 to 3 grand. I could not believe it.
because people want an AK still, and they can't get 7.62 by 39 or 5.45 at a reasonable price. So
Yep.
your alternative is to have an AK that shoots readily available 5.56 and 2.23. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of an AK snob, I guess you can say, because I only own our Polytex. So
Dude, that the Polytechs are freaking awesome. And I have, although I have a Draco and a Polish import, I do have an Arsenal. Those are the three. Are those yeah, those are the three AKs that I have, and they're great. I mean, I love them. But at the time when I purchased those, like my Draco was like 350 or something like that, and now it looks very different now. I got it hard chromed, and that's a whole nother conversation. But one of the biggest benefits of the 7.62 and 5.45 was the price and availability of ammo, and that has since been taken from us. And not to get all off on the whole political thing, but I do think that at some point they said, the people that would like to eliminate freedom. Uh, I have a feeling that they kind of said, okay, we're not having as much luck with this going after guns thing, so let's go after ammo because they can't do shit with their toys if they don't have batteries. So
Yeah, it's a sad place to be in. It's kind of funny. I'll be rearranging the office or something, and I'll run across a box of 500 to 1,000 rounds of a certain ammo, and my fiance will be like, "Ooh, let's go to the range." I'm like, "No, didn't know we had that, but let's stash it."
that's getting stashed away. Nice. Yeah. Arsenals, Polytechs, those are incredible AKs. There were a lot of great sentries once upon a time. There were a lot of bad sentries once upon a time too. But I'm hoping one day the Serbian AKs will be able to flow back over here, and all the other AKs. I'm hoping one day we'll be able to get them imported again. I got a bunch of Plum Circle 10 Plum magazines too. Those are stupid expensive as well.
Do
So
you really?
yeah, I like the
Oh
weird
yeah,
shit.
they are.
In 7.62 by 39 Plum waffle mags, by the way. So yeah, I like weird shit like that.
I've probably got a couple dozen Circle 10 545 waffle mags.
Nice. Yeah, those are. It's so weird. The
Those and I've got the smooth side like Bulgarians also. So it's
nice.
yeah, that's the thing that sucks is you get a gun, you need to make sure that you have ample magazines on hand to keep it running when you want it. And
Hmm.
some of those guns magazines cost a small fortune, and even by current standards too. I mean, look at I mean, not to throw shade or anything, but I mean, look at the price of certain Stig or HK magazines, current
Yeah.
production stuff.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, some of them are 70, $80 for like the MPX mags. Again, not to just throw shade at SIG, but we're just talking about items that are in current production that are, you know,
Price out HKP7 mags.
I don't even want I couldn't imagine. I
Those
mean,
are those are dumb, dude.
and they're like what, single stack like 7 round mags or something like that?
Yes, single stack 7, 8 round magazines, and I think the last time I bought some was probably 5 years ago, and they were, man, I'm wanting to say, man, I'm really trying to remember. I want to say 80 to 90 bucks a pop for good quality.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the AMD 65, the tanker mags, the 20 round AMD 65 mags, which you can totally tell when someone is rocking the KCI Korean tanker mags. But the OG ones, you couldn't even sell those things. You had to give them away in a trade. Nowadays, the 20 round metal tanker AK mags, they're like $150. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. But that is a testament to the Mark 47 though, because that is one of the things. Whereas, like an AK, um, they can sometimes be finicky on the magazines they take. Whereas the Mark
Mhm.
47, we tried to design that to take as many different magazines as possible, and through all of our testing, I think we only had like 2 magazines that it didn't like, and one of those was Tapco.
Really? That's funny that those things used to be like six
Yeah.
bucks. I do, man. So I probably have like
There's a reason they were
30.
$6.
Yeah, absolutely. That's and they went out of business. But I guess some of their stuff became available. Maybe someone bought their molds. Maybe they're back. I don't know. But I probably got like 30 different kinds of AK mags. And if I one day would get my hands on a CMMG, I would probably want the Dissent, and I would be the guy with a like that like gray or stainless colored Descent with like plum mags, or like 40 round bulgies, or like Bakelite mags or something like that in there, like just doing stupid shit with them.
I embrace that fully, man. It's get out, be you, have fun, and enjoy it. It was really funny because Mike Grantham actually sent me a picture of what he had done to the Mark 47 Descent. Like he sent me just a random picture, and my brain was not processing the gun that he was holding was a Mark 47, because I mean he had oh my god, what's the oh man, I'm drawing a complete blank as the optic. It's either a 1 or a 4 power. It's got the lever that throws
Oh,
on the
the
side.
Elcan.
Um
Elcan.
Elcan. Yeah, so he had Elcan on it with a red dot on top of that, but then he had like a peck out on the front with a flashlight, and I mean, he had this thing decked out to run, and he had rattle canned it, black and gray and stuff to his liking, and I'm just like, holy crap! I was like, this is somebody that took this gun and set it up to run it in a duty situation, and my brain didn't process it. It was just like, I didn't I see our guns all the time. Like, I'll watch YouTube videos, and like if I were looking at your screen, I could like point out my handguard if I saw it quick, or if
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah,
panning through their gun wall and you have a bunch of guns standing up, I'm like, that's my handguard, so I know that's a CMMG.
yeah,
Didn't even process that the picture he sent me was our gun. And why would he be sending a picture to me of somebody else's gun? I don't know, but my brain
yeah.
was not processing it.
Yeah,
It's
that
fun
is
though.
cool as shit though. That's I mean, that's kind of a testament. And also, you guys have a cool locking system for the rail as well. So if anyone out there, if you do choose to purchase a CMMG, you can expect your LAM, or your laser aiming module, or whatever you need to keep maintain zero. You can expect that to be nice and sturdy on that rail. So enjoy that, fellas. Well, if there was one thing you wanted to share with everyone out there that was considering like purchasing something from CMMG, what's some advice you'd give them, or where would you say somebody should start? I know it's kind of to each their own kind of thing, but any recommendations for people that are browsing through your catalogs now?
Well, a lot of people, 9 millimeter in the carbines and the PCCs and stuff are always going to be very popular. I'm
Mhm.
simply going to say, don't sleep on the AR conversion style magazines. So we have our 32 round magazines that look like a standard AR magazine, and they work in a standard mil spec size lower, but use our radio delay blowback uppers. We have those in both buffered and compact action versions. I'd say don't sleep on them because, in my personal opinion, um, a rifle is designed to work more optimally with double stack, double feed. That's just the way rifles are designed. Whenever
Mhm.
you take and try to put a pistol magazine into a rifle, some geometry somewhere has to give to make things line up just right. Whereas typically, if you think about a Glock fed uh, handgun, well, you've got the tilting barrel, and things are made to move to get that round to fit into place properly.
Especially
Well,
with
you can't
that's
do
a
that as
double
much
stack single
on a
feed.
rifle. Right. So my biggest thing would be, if you're looking at a 9 millimeter, don't sleep on the conversion mags. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised. It's my personal favorite.
Nice. Yeah, I really do like that idea of running your mags that, and you said they're 32 rounders, right?
Yeah, we actually just somewhat recently released our own manufactured ones. Previously, we had worked with Mean Arms in the Indo Mag, and we had one designed for our radio delay blowback. But we had to get the Mean Arms inserts, and we had to get the Magpul P mags, and we had to throw out the springs and follower from the Magpul P mags, and then we had to put those two pieces together and make zero money buying things from two different people and assembling them. So now we have our own magazines.
That's badass. I
So we
really
can
like
actually
that.
so we can actually now put a couple in a box for less money than we were just able to get one in a box previously. So it's
Nice.
we're definitely expanding in. We're doing more magazines. You know, we've got at least two more guns coming out this year still. So
Nice. With only a month and some change left, that's exciting. I gotta say, you
well, I
guys
don't know
have
if they'll
mentioned a
necessarily
lot.
be coming out, but they will definitely be announced.
Okay, all right. So
And
it
I'll
is
tell you,
coming.
I mean, I could even go ahead and yeah, I could even go ahead and tell you because it's, I mean, it's no secret. We actually have one kind of hidden. Um, there is an Easter egg in a video playlist on our YouTube channel that I actually flat out said, "Here's the gun and here's what it does." But the only way you can find the video is on a certain list. So it's like it's out there, it's unlisted, but if you put a video in a playlist, you can still see it. So
Ooh,
I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag on that one. I'll save people searching, but we see that's the things that we do. We have fun. We hide things where people can find them
right?
sometimes, and we don't care.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
but the new BR series, um, the next logical step, the BR-47 is coming. So you'll be
Nice.
seeing you should be seeing that announced before Christmas. And then the other one that's not so much of a surprise, we're still working on, but if you ever go to Hornady's page and see their new cartridges they've released, or they're talking about the 338 ARC, you'll see that we're listed as a partner. So it's
Oh
no
wow.
secret that we're working on a 338 ARC also.
Dang. Okay. And is 338 arc how different is that from like the 338 Spectre, or is it similar?
I'll be honest, I don't really know many of the specs and stuff regarding the ammo. We are still waiting on some of our care package to arrive for us to get some good testing on it.
Okay.
It is supposed to be, from everything I've understand, it's supposed to be one of the biggest competitors to 8.6 Blackout, but it's going to be able to be in a standard AR lower as opposed to a 308 size lower.
Nice. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Shooting
So a
gallery
lot of fun with
is
that. So yeah, we've got.
oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, we can go right ahead. We can go into Joe's question if you'd like.
He's asking, will you guys make 10 round 450 Bushmaster mags? Aren't those just 30 round AR mags? Or do they have different followers maybe?
That would probably be about the only thing different would be the follower because we had 10 round 458 magazines. They were just modified Lancer magazines. We had to modify the feed lips on them ever so slightly. Um, And then it gets tricky too because it's a 10 round 458 magazine, but according to California, it's still a 30 round 5.56 magazine, even though we have it laser
Yeah.
engraved that it's been modified for 458. But we probably won't be doing that anytime soon, Joe, because we don't make a 450 Bushmaster.
That is an excellent point that I and probably he didn't consider. And yes, Toy Town, I'm stuck in Mass. I'm perfect. I'm a perfect candidate for the BR-47, the Mass AK. And there's actually a bunch of folks that come into this chat, watch the video, even watched several days after the live stream post, and there's a bunch of folks that love freedom but live in not so free states. So that, guys, is a perfect candidate for you guys that are looking for, good quality, duty grade stuff that from what I've seen and heard that, would consider to be duty grade. So
Yeah, and if I can throw out a nod toward a shop in Massachusetts doing some good work, Cape Gun Works. Those
yeah,
guys are in the trenches fighting for mass to get stuff overturned. They're out there with the petitions, getting things, trying to get some of the stupidity that I I fear that it is. It's going to all be in vain. They're working so hard and they're doing so much stuff, but regardless, Massachusetts is going to be Massachusetts, and they're going to make things very hard. But that's one of the reasons why we have the BR series, and those guys are buying a ton of them from us to make sure they're one of those shops that, regardless what the state's saying, they're pushing everything up to the last minute. So,
yeah,
if you're kind of like we were talking about the pistol brace ban earlier, you had certain FFLs that weren't accepting transfers because it had a pistol brace. There are still plenty of places in Massachusetts that aren't accepting stuff because it might be questionable. Cape Gun Works
mhm.
is fighting the good fight. So.
Yeah, yeah, those are great guys. That's one of the shops that Joe, Shooting Gallery Joe, used to work with, and I've heard nothing but great things about them. So we certainly appreciate them and anyone fighting the good fight. And Farmer James says this CMMG guy is a bangarang guest. Dark, thank you, Farmer James. I appreciate you, and I'm sure Mike does as well.
Okay, yeah, it's enlighten me on Bangarang.
Do you remember the movie Hook back in the day with the Captain Hook movie with Robin Williams?
I do remember the movie. I didn't watch it that much.
That's okay. That's okay. A lot of us did not. So bangarang was a term that the Lost Boys used as like hell yeah, it's like battle time, like let's do this. Like I believe what he was saying is a
Okay.
cool guess. It's not like something we use on the channel or anything. I'm just
Well, I'll take it as
assuming
a
that
compliment.
it's definitely a compliment. So I just yelled bangarang back in chat because it's hilarious. For the record, I don't know who any of you are. You're all strangers to me. We are all pretty strange. Oh, that's hilarious. Mike doesn't know Hook. That's funny. Sorry, and
All right,
Skrillex
I love
doesn't.
Robin Williams, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I typically don't care at all when a celebrity passes. They don't phase me in the slightest. But I'll tell you
Mhm.
what. There are two in my life that hit hard: Robin Williams and Carrie Fisher. Because Princess Leia, I am that old. I mean,
Dang. Yeah, I mean, Robin Williams was such a dynamic individual, and he was still in that age of not like celebrities, but like, people that you grow to admire where you get to see all the different layers, right? Like nowadays, people become famous and they become famous off of like a thing or a style of things or whatever. But he was so multi, like he did stand up, he did serious movies, he did comedic movies, he did performance movies, and, all the stuff that came out about him and his condition that, he kind of became like a guy that like you cared about, and he had Lou Gehrig's disease,
yeah,
and he was a heroin addict and addicted to benzos and all this stuff. I mean, it's that disease is like, basically bordering on like paranoia, schizophrenia. It's a scary thing to have. So I think, at that age, like nowadays celebrities are just totally different, and it's like they have a little shtick. They get their 15 minutes of fame, and then they're just known for like that thing or a couple of things. But he was one of those where like, he was like part of the family.
yeah. I mean, and he was, I mean, he was so, he had so many layers too. I mean, like you were saying, I mean, he could do the stand up, and he could absolutely crack you up with the stand up, but he was also incredible at, improv, but he could
Hmm.
also play the serious role that would just make you cry, or
Like Patch
at least
Adams.
have that huge lump in your throat. Oh, that's
Yeah.
exactly the movie I was thinking of. Patch
Yeah.
Adams with, and I mean, Awakenings. I don't
Yeah.
like what Robert De Niro has become, but that
Hmm.
was an incredible movie.
He was freaking
It's just,
Mork
I mean,
from
there.
Mork and Mindy, you know?
And now we're getting to my age. I remember watching Working and Mindy when it was on TV. So like
Well,
not in syndication, dude.
yeah, I'm not that old, but not saying you're old. I mean, I'm not as old as a kid. I would watch reruns because my parents were old, and because my oldest brother was old, so I would just watch reruns with them. But when you got like 12 channels, there's not much you can do.
And what he would do for the troops, like going out to the USO shows and stuff like that. I think one of my favorite ones was there was somebody was filming when he was doing something at a USO show, and I think they started playing Retreat, and like everybody stood up and like turned to the flag, and during the middle of his show, and he just froze, and he was like, "What the hell's going on over there?"
Dude,
he's like, all of a sudden everybody just stood up and turned. And he's like, what should I be watching for over there? Do I need to duck? you know, he was just like,
Nanu Nanu. Oh my
he was
goodness.
so good.
Dude, the Too Many Choices says the chair gag still kills me. I know when he would sit down upside down in a chair. Yeah, he could just nail it
Oh yeah.
regardless of what he was doing. But dude, I'll tell you what, man. I really do appreciate you coming on. I promised that we wouldn't keep you too late. We sometimes I'll go till 1 or even 2 o'clock in the morning. It's insane. I won't do that to you this morning, but as we
I don't mind, man. I am truly enjoying this, man.
I appreciate it, man. Me too. And I apologize to you and to the viewers with the delay, but I got to say that this has been excellent, even though we had a little bit of a delay there. So thank you, man. Thank you for coming on. And in closing here, anything else you want to leave with everyone that's watching now and that'll see this, over the next few days as well?
All five of them?
All
No.
five of them.
um, no. So guys, I mean, huge thanks to DLD for having me here. This is a ton of fun. Thanks for you guys for being so engaging. You got a great group of people here. Make sure you just check us out, follow us, check out our webpage, go to our socials, look at my ugly mug on our YouTube page. Chances are, if you comment on our YouTube page, I'm probably going to be the person that responds on that. So, um,
Nice.
if you're a huge fan of CMMG stuff, we also have it's a community run group, but it's very well disciplined. We have a group called CMMG Enthusiast on Facebook that I engage in quite regularly too. So,
Mm.
and just stay tuned because I know we have a lot more things in the wings, and we're gonna have some fun with some of this.
Awesome. Hell yeah. And actually, a great question came up. Kurt24 asks, are there any coming CMMG Black Friday deals that they should be on the lookout for?
Yes, I don't recall what they are, and just for me to be fully honest with you guys, we typically don't do a lot of stuff for Black Friday through Cyber Monday directly, primarily because we do that. We try to let our dealers really take advantage of that type of stuff. And anytime we blow things out at too low of a price, that really gets our dealers upset.
Mhm.
And if it wasn't for our dealers, we wouldn't be in the position we are today because they really helped us grow. So we want to try to make sure we keep those guys as happy as possible and let them spread the wealth with the good deals.
Dude, that's awesome. I love that you guys do that. I love that you're thinking like that. I'll tell you what, we recently started a knife company, and we've come out with some really great
I know we
pocket
need to
knives.
talk.
Yeah, dude, I would love to. You know, thinking like as we are talking to some people that want to carry our products in their shops and on their websites, and where I have dealer agreements with my other business that I run, but with this, it's like the first time that we're kind of scaling it to a different degree. So it's just keeping that in the forefront is like, how do we make sure that we set up our dealers and those guys with the best likelihood of success as possible, while not literally stealing money out of their pockets by offering either the same or even, God forbid, a better deal. So that's cool that you guys kind of think like that too.
Yep.
Seriously nice knives. Well, thank you, Mark Legon. I appreciate you. And to all you guys, all the viewers out there, man, I appreciate you guys so much. And Mike, to you, sir, thank you for coming on. Usually at the end of every show, obviously, we encourage all the viewers here to go check out all the content that they post, the YouTube channel, all the Instagram, their website, obviously as well. And I would encourage you guys to show some love, and remember that also there's a gun out there that is an unlisted video that you can only find if you watch through a particular playlist on the CMMG YouTube page. So I would encourage all of you guys to go check it out to find out what gun is going to be dropping soon. But look, in the end, guys, I close every stream the same way, and I encourage you to show love to CMMG and to Mike, just as we do to all of our other companies that we keep close, like Goonbeam, like Gideon Optics, obviously Definition Knives, which is our company, but all the guys that have been there supporting us the whole time. We need to make sure we show them some love, and just kind of keep the people that are in our circle taken care of. And in addition to that, make sure that we as individuals, as men in our community, are doing our job to be leaders in our family, leaders in our community, leaders in our church, and we are actively engaged in a culture war. So become culture warriors, and obviously do so lawfully. But becoming the man that you choose to be, I encourage all of you guys to set up your own standards and expectations for yourself and hold yourself to higher standards. And as you do that, remember the rules. There's some rules I like to share with you guys at the end of every show, which are as follows. Rule number 1 is to be kind. It's so important to be kind in everything that you do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So be kind. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed, because the hand that's open to give is open to receive. And then rule number 3, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence, make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be. And be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you, especially if that thing is a CMMG. So, Mike, thank you again for coming on, brother. I appreciate you. Stick around for just a second. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next one. Have a happy Thanksgiving, but you may still be seeing me Thursday night. Love y'all. Peace.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Mike.